The all-new, all-electric Volvo EX90. It's your life, style.
Here, however, is the reality. You see, EX90 drivers are not going to be styling their lives. They are going to be hauling their kids, mostly to football practice. Sorry, America, it's not soccer.
We'll come back to this later to find out what people actually make of the new EX90. But first, let's take it far away from here, because there's something else we need to discuss.
And it's not this. I doubt any EX90 will ever venture off-road. It's not that kind of 4x4. Instead, we need to talk about technology and whether or not it's a good thing. Volvo, after all, prides itself on its safety reputation, but everything in this car is in this screen, which means you've got to jab at buttons and look away from the road. And I do mean everything. If you want to adjust the steering wheel, it's in the screen. The side mirrors, it's in the screen. If you want to fine-tune the seat, put the hazards on, open the boot, everything is in the screen. And it's just a little bit of a distraction. It's a fiddle to operate, and it takes your attention away from the road. Now, to combat this potential distraction and irritation, Volvo has fitted the EX90 with a host of sensors. That little box you see up there isn't a taxi sign, it's where they're housed, including the LiDAR sensor, which can spot small objects hundreds of meters down the road, and that's very clever. But it all feels slightly like it's to make up for the fact that you are having to be more distracted when you drive this car.
Provided you can look past that, or perhaps rely on your kids to sort it out for you, there's plenty to appeal.
Let's give you a little tour around it. For starters, it's a big car, over 5 meters long, but it doesn't look it because it's on 22-inch wheels, and also I'm in America at the moment, which makes it a little bit hard to judge scale. It's a very good piece of design though, I think. Bit faceless at the front, but like a Range Rover, it's got this sort of reductive design. It's clearly a Volvo, clearly a sort of an XC90, but just cleaner, nicer to look at. It's got a 34-litre front, but you're not going to need it because the boot is massive. And down here is a 111 kilowatt-hour battery.
That powers a motor on each axle, giving this flagship performance version 510 horsepower and 670 pounds-foot of torque for 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds. The regular twin motor has 400 horsepower and is a second slower. Claimed WLTP range is 370 miles. Single motor cars will be along later, as will lower spec cars than this £100,000 Ultra, bringing the starting price down to around £75,000, ballpark with Kia's EV9.
But that's not the key rival out here. We got a taxi from the airport and we were talking to our driver about the EX90 and coming down here, and he said to us, oh, the soccer mum car. You know, Volvo has some work to do. Everyone out here drives a white Tesla now. He's not wrong. There's a white Tesla. White Tesla. White Tesla.
It does feel like Volvo is chasing the Tesla ideal with this car. The clean design, the reliance on technology, the readiness for self-driving. Both Model X and Y are well-packaged, spacious cars, but they're not as thoughtfully designed for families as this.
Check it out. People seem to have forgotten how to do this stuff properly, to liberate space in a car. You've got a flat floor across the back here and masses of legroom. Then you've got neat features. Look at this. Little booster seat for little ease, and if you don't want that, then you can have it as a 6-seat with 2 captain's chairs back here. And then you get to the really geeky stuff, okay? Imagine you've got a child carrying you, bear with me here. You can, with one hand, tilt and slide to allow them into the back. You can also drop the seat just like that with one hand. I know this stuff isn't exciting, but it matters to parents. And if you can't be bothered to press a button to raise the rear seats, don't worry, plenty of room for children in here anyway. And another one under the boot floor, till you start driving, obviously. Honestly, no one does this stuff better than Volvo. Up front, it is very smart. beautifully made, tastefully Scandinavian, and with really good storage as well. I might have an issue with the touchscreen, but let's face it, every single car is the same these days, and at least this one is very good. It's responsive and nice to use and quick. It's satisfying, and it does mean the rest of the interior is very cleaned up. I just wish they hadn't reduced stuff so much that there is now no key. Your smartphone does that job. Your kids will think that's cool. You will think it's stressful. What if your battery runs flat?
Okay, enough of the boring stuff. Let's get driving.
So here we are, gently lobbing the EX90 through some Californian twists and turns. It's absolutely gorgeous up here, it's beautiful. But this will probably be the only time you see an EX90 on a twisty road, because it's not really what this car is about, is it? It's going to be urban stuff and motorways. And it's really good at that. It's really good at that. I mean, particularly impressed by like how sensitive and accurate the throttle is at low speeds. How it rolls so well. If you just lift off and you don't have the one pedal stuff on, it just rolls forever. It's got the sense of momentum in it, because it weighs 2.8 tons, is amazing. And to be honest, it holds itself together well around corners. It's not exciting to drive in any way, shape or form, but you don't get the sense it weighs 2.7, 2.8 tons. It's actually very composed and stable. It's plenty quick enough. It actually brakes okay. The one pedal is nice. The throttle sensitivity at low speeds is fantastic. It's really accurate to use. But more than that, even if you like slow down a little bit, or when you slow down a little bit, it's just really clean, very easy, light in your hands. It asks nothing of you. The seat is wonderfully comfortable. The A-pillars don't get in the way, so visibility is really good. Everything has been thought of to make this as fuss-free family transport as it can be. And I can't think of another car that does it better than this, electric or petrol or diesel. Right, enough driving. We are going to head somewhere the Volvo is much more likely to be seen, a football tournament. All right, soccer.
Meet Jen and Lex, each a proud soccer mum with 3 kids. They spend huge amounts of time shuttling them around. So what did they make of the EX90? They explored every nook and cranny, from the 34-litre frunk, not big enough apparently, to clambering into the rearmost row, which both declared fine for short journeys. Lex reckoned the EX90 was a bit on the small side, but then she drives a Ford Expedition. Jen, who drives a Tesla Model Y, was much more complimentary, easier to use and no cricked necks in the rear seats. Neither had too much issue with the touchscreen, but both had the same main criticism: not enough cup holders. Overall though, very impressed.
So the EX90, not enough cup holders for some, and burying everything in a touchscreen is a pain, but that never stopped Tesla, and it does feel like this is a car aimed at Tesla rather than more traditional rivals. However, I think it is better than any of them, the best family car available today. And it's football, okay.